Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Six and Out. My name is Abhi, and on today's show we have Pranav Chettipalia. So, Pranav, if you could introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Prannav Chettipalayam and I'm 18 years old and I'm from New Jersey. I'm a lefty opening batsman and wicketkeeper.
Yeah, so thank you, Pranav, for being on today's show. It's a pleasure to have you. So obviously you've had quite the success in 2023 and 2024. You made the 2024 Under 19 World Cup, and you had a pretty decent run with the 50 against Bangladesh and a couple like uh, 30s or something. I don't remember off the top of my head. But you were pretty successful there, especially coming from a country that hasn't really entered the tournament since 2010. So I just want to like start off by asking like, what was your motivation? How did you start playing cricket? Like, especially like being raised in New Jersey here with not much cricketing facilities. What was your motivation to start the sport?
So actually I used to live in Connecticut, so that was like the first time I was ever introduced to cricket, and then I moved to New Jersey soon after, and so I would just really wanted to play cricket, so I searched up cricket near me, and the first thing that came up was Crickmax. So when I was 9 years old, I enrolled in Crickmax, and I've been with them ever since. So yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, like you've been playing cricket for a lot of your time. So like over the years, like obviously now you're in college, and you know, basically your childhood's done. But over the years, like what has cricket taught you? Like just from the age of 9 to like throughout high school, and then just like even when you're in college, like not just as the sport, but like what has it taught you, and like how have you incorporated it in your actual life?
I think cricket teaches you a lot about like resiliency and how to deal with failures because cricket is one of those games I guess where not every day is going to be your day. Like a lot of ups and downs, and the game humbles you really quick. So I think that definitely playing cricket and being able to deal with such highs of success like scoring 100, making a team versus like the lows, getting dropped, not scoring any runs. So I think that helps with all aspects of life, whether it's through education, through work, or through even relationships as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, it definitely does teach a lot. Not every day is your day. You could say that as well. I mean, uh, yeah, just like when you I could relate to that as well because I also play, right? So, I was gonna ask- yeah, so right, like going back to the beginning of the video, how I mentioned that you were successful in under 19. Obviously, it didn't come through just like 1 year of hard work. You've obviously worked a lot over the past few years, and it was your final year to try out, I'm guessing. So, what was it like? Like, what was your mindset before going, like, stepping into the first trial, and even before that, like, how seriously did you take cricket before that, and like, just everything. Like, what was your journey that shaped you up till under 19?
Obviously, it's been like one of my dreams, seeing like older players like Sai and Yasser, representing US under 19 and then going on to represent the men's team. It's obviously like it was one of my dreams, to make US under 19. So I definitely knew that, you had to put a lot of work in beforehand. So, I think starting from maybe like this beginning of 2022, end of 2021, I started taking things a lot more seriously, especially after COVID. So I think that definitely, the work that I put in, definitely did help me in the end. But I think that it was a continuation of work and not just, as you said, like a couple of days or a couple of weeks of practice that helped me.
Yeah, so you mentioned that at the end of 2022. So like for the younger generation, like for me, for example, I'm 15. I'm aging out of under 15. So obviously, my goal is to also make you 19 after seeing you guys like, get those crazy Instagram posts and all that. Like I also want to be there now. Like, so what's your advice? Like, what age really is the time to start and like start taking your decisions, start knowing your game, just becoming a better self of you, and just practicing hard. Like what really what would you what advice would you give to some people?
I would definitely say, especially at the age of 15, like, you're have been played a lot of games, practices, you played all over the country at this point probably. So I think the biggest thing would, to definitely know your own game the best. I think when I really sat down and analyzed myself, my cricket, I think that's definitely when I started seeing a lot more progress in my own skills. And I think a lot more of it, like once you get to 16, 17, 18, becomes a lot more of a mental game. At that point, like the skill difference between like the top 100 players isn't very much. So it's just those who can, really have a good, strong mental base and, can definitely use it when under pressure are usually the ones that come out on top.
Yeah, so you talked about your like mental health, like how you have to be strong in that. So obviously, I don't think many youngsters see that the mental health aspect being really important. We all just focus on like how to play cover drive, how to get our head position straight. So what have you worked on like on like especially like after the age of 15 when you start to really understand your game? What mental aspects did you work on? Obviously, just like going in the nets and like just like hitting the ball wasn't it. Like that's not what got you to where you are today. You obviously had to, just change your mental aspects. Like, what did you change about it?
No, I think definitely being able to understand your own game first. But I think what really helped me was, sitting down with a coach. Ever since, 15, I've every game or every couple of games that I've played, I'm always trying to analyze. So just to see how you can get better. Like no matter what, you always have things to improve on. And, the quicker you improve those things, the quicker like you'll see progress. So I think the biggest thing was that, definitely when I really sat down and started analyzing, why I'm getting out or why I'm scoring runs or like what do I do against this opposition, definitely helped me start analyzing the game more, but it's again analyzing my own cricket as well.
Yeah. So now I want to come to like cricketing facilities. So we've been here in New Jersey, and we played a lot of our youth cricket on the notorious Consolata, and Pine Grove, and just like from we all know like the outfields were pretty terrible back then, and they aren't like super great right now. But when you flew to South Africa, and you obviously flew to England with us for the MLC tournament, and yeah, so like what do you see like the differences? Obviously the fields and all are one thing, but like as a cricketing country, like what really like just what did you see that really like sparked that like I don't know how to say it, but like just what's the difference? I would say like the major difference, of course, we could see like in the fields, but like just like what would you say is different?
Yeah, definitely, going to South Africa was an amazing experience, not just playing in the World Cup, but also being able to visit the country and a cricketing country at that. Especially when we were there, the facilities were like amazing. The nets that we would have, they would be like 8 lanes, I guess, with 8 turf nets, and then they would all like simulate a different type of wicket. So some of them would be like more Australian wickets, a little bit more bouncy. Some of them with Indian wickets, with some red soil mixed in, so you get some more turn. So especially with that combined with seeing some of the universities there. Like in America, we have some universities that are catered towards sports like basketball and football. They have a lot of universities in South Africa that are specifically catered for cricket. And while visiting some of those, you see like 10 grounds at like international quality, a bunch of wickets, good training facilities, good gym facilities. So just the amount of infrastructure that's put into cricket there just makes it like amazing.
Yeah, so just I'm about to wrap it up. You did mention about like just like like in South Africa how you had like different conditions for like different like lanes, right? So what did you like obviously you played against South Africa and many good teams like India, Afghanistan. Like what was the skill level like how good were they, and how good of an experience was it, and like an eye opener to like how much you guys have to work still?
Yeah, so definitely playing against those top quality teams, like that's the best of the best, like in the entire world. So especially playing teams like Bangladesh and India, you could definitely see like how some of those players have really matured in cricket. Especially players like Mushir Khan, like those players, like you can see it, like how they're manipulating the field, they're staying patient, and then they're putting away the bad balls. Like I know a lot of the stuff like that I'm saying is like stuff that coaches are already telling us, but you can see like how much better those players are doing it, especially the little things. There are small things like, um, especially during bowling, like those top quality teams, the bowler never gives the cap to the umpire. It's always slip that runs to the bowler, takes the hat from them, and then gives it back to the umpire. So not to let the bowler, go from their run up all the way to the umpire and then back. So those small things, especially with fielders. I find like as soon as they see the batsman go on the back foot or the front foot, they're already moving in either direction. So those small things I think is what really sets apart a full member nation versus an associate nation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, like USA Cricket had decent success in the World Cup for the T20 World Cup in 2024. So like obviously, I think like now the associate like we are considered an associate team. So like I think now after all the recognition we got, I think definitely the facilities will start to improve because they have like a they have a responsibility of doing it just to help the USA in 2026. So I've asked you all these like hard questions, but I wanted to end off on like a small note. Like, who's your idol? Like, who do you look up to, and who do you strive to be, and who do you strive to play for and against? Just if you could just end it off on that note.
I think, like in terms of idol, I look up to a lot of international batsmen, but when it comes to like in the U.S., especially a lot of those men's players, someone like Nitish Kumar or Andreas Gauss, those players, they're playing like in America, they have the same infrastructure as us, the same facilities as us. So, it gives us like a sense of like if they can do it, so can we. And, the infrastructure is only improving. So I think that definitely seeing those players, perform at the top level, in MLC, in the World Cup, wherever, just gives us a sense that, it's possible for us to do it as well.
Yeah, I really like how you said that your idol was someone in the U.S. Because like
Yeah.
many a times if you see like if you ask just like a normal like Dream Career or Quick Max member, they say like oh Virat Kohli or like oh like MS Dhoni. But like I really like how you said Andres Gauss or Nitish Kumar. So I mean that just shows like after this World Cup how much recognition these players have gotten. Um, yeah, I mean that's about it, Pranav. Thank you so much for your time. I would love to have you again. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Six and Out.